name badges that say the person's name and puts its school board member on the badge.
Get a motion.
Second.
Discussion?
In lanyards? Or
Sorry?
what kind of badge? Oh, whatever. Okay, got it.
All in favor of approving the motion as presented, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Nay. Okay, next item, school district emails for school board members. Dave?
Well, I think that it's essential that we have email addresses that are linked to the SAU. All of our email correspondence is discoverable through Right to Know. We should be able to produce that to the public. And currently, we have a hodgepodge of people, myself included, using my business email. And I think it would just be more efficient. It is very simple to have that email redirect into a box that you're accustomed to answering an email. So I don't think it's going to require anybody to really take any extra effort. I think it also would mean that if you are talking to somebody, are you talking to them as a school board member or not? If I want to send an email to one of you not as as a school board member, I would use my personal email, but I would use my other email for that purpose. The other thing is, logistically, I don't think it's difficult at all.
Tricia?
I can speak to this motion because I have an SAU email address that I access, which is PTA at SAU15, and Comcast does not allow it to dump into my regular email. I don't know, it has been attempted not only on my account but on other people's. I can get it on my mobile device if I so choose, but I cannot get it to open on my Comcast account. It involves going into the SAU site. Just for a point of reference, there are times that you have to go directly into the SAU. It doesn't dump into a Comcast account. It could be my filters, my walls, I don't know enough about it, but it is not possible.
So you have to go into the website?
Yeah, well,
Web.
What's this called?
Webmail.
We have an Exchange server, so we use the OWA, which is the Outlook web service.
Yep.
The issue is we don't do forwarding to other outside accounts. We have those protocols blocked on Exchange, so it would be a matter of you guys going into your accounts just like our staff does. We'd be using the web access, and you would be logging into that directly. It would be forwarded to, any other type of address.
So I guess the question is, why are the protocols blocked, and do they have to remain blocked for some reason?
Security, yes.
It's a security issue to forward someone's email to another box?
We don't have POP3 or any of those protocols open on the Exchange server.
I understand that you don't have them open. I'm just saying, what's the security risk of opening those for school board members to forward emails out?
Because we don't have them open for staff. But
Well, yeah, I know. I guess, I think we're,
I mean, I want to stick to the I don't want to decide, if, do we have this POP or whatever. I mean,
well, excuse me, Dana, but I kind of do, because, I mean, if this is a big problem, I don't want to push it. I'm not a technical person like Matt is. I'm trying to ask a question here. We are in a little different situation in the administration. I mean, we're people, volunteers here. So I'm just asking, is there some security problem that would be occurring if our emails were forwarded out of that?
it opens up to vulnerabilities.
Such as?
People forwarding to other addresses. I mean, there's all types of security risks. That's why we don't have the POP3 or any of those protocols open.
Yeah.
So, it's like, just like the PTA, they log in using OWA just like everybody else. We have several accounts for volunteer programs. So,
I mean, it's not difficult, but it's not as easy as opening, it's not hard, but it is an extra email that you have to go into. It just doesn't come up in your Comcast that it came from it's just not in your regular inbox. It's in a separate inbox. You can store things there, you can save things there. Matt has been wonderful because frequently I forget passcode. And just resetting it for me to, that I have to go in and tell it again. But it isn't as easy as it getting forwarded.
I was just going to, there's probably something else we should do, is sometimes questions should come to me and then I'll decide who answers them. I will not open Microsoft Exchange. It's an administrative decision that I've made. I made it when we went to an Exchange server. I've never worked with an Exchange server where it was open. I don't totally understand the security reasons for it, except I've been about 15 years with Exchange servers, and that's my decision because my financial management system and everything else is out there and it can't be compromised. It's not an issue at all giving you email addresses. Not an issue. You will have to access it through OWA, just like I do. When I'm at home and want to check my email from my home computer, I had to sign on using OWA. So it's an extra step, but most places I know that have that, I remember at one point in time signing on to SNU, and when a faculty member signs on, a professor signs on to SNU, from home, it's through OWA. So most places that I know use OWA. We can do it, we can set, it's nothing we have to install on their computer.
No,
It's
I
very-
can create inboxes for each board
Very
member.
easily done. We can do it in a heartbeat.
One question I'm confused about, Tricia, you said you were able to get it on your mobile device?
Yeah, because it lets me, I have, what are the acronyms?
OWA.
OWA is one of the accounts that I can go to, but I have to input my password every time. It's
Oh, so
on
it's
my
not
browser.
forwarding to it, okay.
It's not forwarding, it's
Oh, no.
on my browser.
Yeah, and you can set the email up to mobile devices as well.
I tend not to because I don't like my phone, so I want it on my desktop, but other people who access the email do. I'm not the only one that goes into the PTA site.
Well, I have no objection to having to log in. I mean, you know, I just think it should be, if it is a little extra effort, it's a little extra effort. It doesn't really change mine. I'll go ahead and make the motion that we establish email accounts for each of the board members that are SAU accounts. SAU 15 accounts. Yes,
Any discussion on,
Yes, a question. When you say that with that Exchange server, you can't forward, what does that mean exactly? You have to log in, but what's that mean? What is it unable to do
Like
because
a
of security
Hotmail
reasons?
account, you may be able to not even log into Hotmail,
Oh,
but
and-
have that forwarded
I
to
see.
your Yahoo
Oh,
account.
okay, all right. I
So that when you go into one address, you have multiple
Right,
emails.
right.
We can't do that
I
forward.
understand.
There
Okay.
are some providers that don't allow that forwarding. Comcast is tough. But this is, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said, that's how I log in when I'm not at work.
any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the motion to have board members with school district emails? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, you make that one happen.
Yeah, and the only question I would have, not being difficult, you'll have an email address tomorrow. You'll have to call for it because I'm not going to email it to you. No, I'm only kidding. My question is, not so much for this board, but for the future and as things change. If somebody would rather not use their SAU account, is it your intention to make that mandatory for board members? because that will have an impact on how we send out information. I just want to be clear on that.
I mean, the motion was to set up accounts for the board members, so.
I'd like to speak to that. I think we should set them up, and then perhaps what we should do is visit our procedures as to how we handle that. Because I don't think it's up to Phil to, check on us, but I think it should be in our code of conduct that all official school board business be used through it. But I think that's another motion that we can have, and I think we have time because it's gonna be set up. I also, personally, I didn't put this in a motion, but I don't think there's any problem with having a personal email on file. So if somebody is getting no response, they can say, have you checked your SAU account, particularly in the beginning or for a new board member who might not realize and be waiting for this thing to forward or something like that. So I have no problem with having my email address on account, but just I think the official business should be on the SAU.
I'm gonna move us on. We've got the accounts that we set up, and once we know they're functioning, we can move on from there. Item K, BYOD report.
I think we skipped J.
All done.
I thought that was ring.
Is anticipated. No, this is Manchester High School's assessment committee. Sorry.
This was another one of my ideas, kind of spawned out of the forum and the issues that we've had about reassignment that have come up. I think that we should form a committee to assess what is going on in the high schools, and I think we should, I'm not ready to make a motion because I think the board should discuss this a little bit, but to start the thinking. My thinking is that we have some parents on there, obviously school board member, if there's staff available. One of the ideas that I had was to create basically a spreadsheet so that we can input the data that we get from Manchester and have a continually growing document so that we can look back and see a history of have we had overcrowding classroom problems in semester one of last year? Have we had the health inspection issue? These kinds of things that I see are dealt with, but then it's kind of hard to go back and remember, well, what was it like last year? Has it been, how did it change from the last semester 2 years ago to the current semester this year? So what I'd like the committee to do is to create like a living document that information can be put in so that we could figure out the statistics of if they're out of compliance with the contract or they're out of compliance with the state. Those types of things would be recorded, and we could look at that and be able to, get some information from it. Among other things, as far as assessing the, how the whole high school experience for our children. Because it certainly is an issue right now, and I don't see it going away with the budget. And I don't blame Manchester for this, but they're going to have to do something. And, somebody's not going to be happy. So I think if we kind of get on top of this, start recording data, like what if athletics is cut, something like that, that we can kind of be on top of it and have the public working with us. So that's the reason I put it on there. Like I said, I don't have a firm idea of what that should look like. I would like to get the board to, if they're willing to further discuss the idea, to have some input and to try to come up with some ideas about what that should look like. Thank you.
Okay.
Nobody else has any ideas?
So could we keep that on our
Second,
agenda?
can we-
Could we keep the Manchester High School Assessment Committee on our agenda and give us all time to think about what we think that might look like? Like, instead of saying, I'll be on the committee, I won't, like, get a feel for people in the community that might be interested in sitting on that committee,